I'm standing in the hallway of the house we haven't sold, watching all the perfect stories start to gather mold. I used to tell my father that I found the Holy Grail, that our ship was the only one that was never gonna sail. We had the highest ceiling and the brightest kind of spark. We were the only light that didn't flicker in the dark. But looking at the wreckage on this empty, quiet floor, I realized that the best just doesn't live here anymore. We were the gold standard, the one they tried to beat. Now I'm just a runner with no rhythm in my feet. We were the greatest, weren't we, babe? The kind of love that people die to save. We had the world on a string and the stars in our hands, a masterpiece written in the shifting of the sands. Now I'm standing in the ruins of the best there's ever been, trying to find the moment where the coldness entered in. It's the heaviest kind of sorrow, the hardest kind of fall, to have been the greatest and end up with nothing at all. I see the way they look at me when I walk in the room, the pity in their whispers like a shadow in the gloom. They remember how we dazzled, how we burned a hole through time, how we made the hardest mountain look like an easy climb. Now the awards are on the mantle, but the house is freezing cold, and the happily ever after has been bought and has been sold. I'm a king without a kingdom, I'm a star without a sky, just a man who's still wondering why the champions had to die. They don't write songs for the ones who almost made it through. They write them for the legends, for the ones like me and you. But the legends always end in a tragedy of pride, with the greatest love of all time buried deep inside. We were the greatest, weren't we, babe? The kind of love that people die to save. We had the world on a string and the stars in our hands, a masterpiece hidden in the shifting of the sands. Now I'm standing in the ruins of the best there's ever been, trying to find the moment where the coldness entered in. It's the heaviest kind of sorrow, the hardest kind of fall, to have been the greatest and end up with nothing at all. Number one. I watched you turn the corner in your worn-out denim coat, and felt the words get strangled in the desert of my throat. The streetlights flickered twice and then they died upon the vine, as I realized your shadow wasn't walking next to mine. I went back to the corner bar where we first shared a glass, watching all the happy people praying they would pass. But the air is getting thicker and the walls are closing in. I can feel the old familiar heavy darkness on my skin. They say that grief's a journey, but for me it's just a cage. And I'm reading through a book where someone's torn out every page. Now the black dog's waiting at the foot of my bed, repeating every cruel thing that you ever said. He's the weight upon my chest when the morning starts to break. He's the hollow in my spirit. He's the never-ending ache. I try to run him off, but he's faster than my pride. Since you left, I've got nowhere left to hide. Yeah, it's just me and the black dog now. And he's the only one who stayed. I see you in the steam that rises off my morning tea. 1,000 little versions of the way you look to me. But then the fog descends and turns the gold into a gray, and the black dog follows closely as I try to start the day. He sits beside me in the car, he's in the empty seat. He's the rhythm of the rain against the pavement of the street. I used to have a light that kept the monsters in the cave, but you took the only match I had and left me in this grave. Is he mine or is he yours? Did you leave him here for me as a parting gift for everything we'll never get to be? He doesn't bug, he doesn't bite, he just breathes against my soul, reminding me that half a heart can never be a whole. Now the black dog's waiting at the foot of my bed, repeating every cruel thing that you ever said. He's the weight upon my chest when the morning starts to break. He's the hollow in my spirit. He's the never-ending ache. I try to run him off, but he's faster than my pride. Since you left, I've got nowhere left to hide. Yeah, it's just me and the black dog now. Good boy, stay. Don't let the memories drift away. He's all I have left of the way you used to love me. Just a shadow on the floor, just a ghost behind the door. Me and the black dog Ate out and make mistakes, so double check responses. The pantry's full of boxes that we never got to use, and the wine we save for someday is the only thing I choose. I'm sitting on the counter where you used to tell your jokes. Now the only thing that's rising is the ghost of kitchen smoke. I found the little packet from that cafe by the bay, the one where you first told me that you couldn't stay away. I'm holding on to sweetness like a lifeline in the dark, but a memory is a fire that has lost its only spark. They say that bitterness is what follows when it ends, but I'm still tasting honey where the tragedy begins. I've got the sugar on my tongue, but the salt is in my eyes. I'm still swallowing the darling and the beautifulest lies. You left a trail of candy just to lead me to the break. Now I'm choking on the cravings and the never-ending ache. Every word you ever whispered was a nectar, was a song. Now I'm humming to a flavor that has stayed around too long. Yeah, the taste of you is lingering, though the melody is sung, and I'm dying from the poison of the sugar on my tongue. I tried to buy the coffee that we used to drink at dawn, but the brand has changed its label and the feeling's mostly gone. I'm looking for a reason not to let the winter in, but I can still feel your sugar-coated touch upon my skin. You were a rush of dopamine, a high I couldn't quit. Now I'm shivering in the silence, trying to make some sense of it. How something so delicious could turn a soul so gray. How the sweetest part of living was the first to rot away. Is it a habit? Is it hunger? Or just a cruel design that I can't get the saccharin to leave this heart of mine? I'd rather have the vinegar, I'd rather have the bird than this artificial sweetness everywhere I turn. It's too sweet. It's making my tea fade. It's too sweet. How much can one heart take? Sugar on my tongue and a hole inside my chest. I'm just waiting for the bitter to put the rest to rest. I'm pulling at the corners of the heavy cotton sheets, trying to smooth the places where our worlds used to meet. The sunlight's hitting dust, motes dancing in the air. But it's been 100 mornings since I've seen you lying there. I find a golden hair tangled in the pillowcase, and for a split second I can almost see your face. But the fabric is just fabric, the room is just a box, locked inside a memory that refuses any locks. My hands are shaking as I tuck the edges in, like I'm trying to hide the evidence of where we might have been. I'm making the bed just to feel like I'm alive, trying to find a routine that'll help me to survive, smoothing out the wrinkles where your body used to rest, putting on a brave face, put the sorrow to the test. But no matter how I pull them, the sheets are never tight. They're just a cold reminder of the middle of the night, when I reach across the canyon of the king-size space instead, and realize I'm the only one who's making the bed. I bought the floral pattern because you said they felt like spring. Now they're just the colors of a dead and withered thing. I stacked the decorative pillows in a perfect hollow row, a fortress made of feathers for a heart with nowhere to go. I used to hate the way you'd kick the covers to the floor. Now I give to prepare a place for someone who won't walk through that door. I'm dressing up a graveyard in white and navy blue, still keeping half the mattress clear and waiting here for you. Corners tucked, pillows straight, the perfect stage for the silent wait. It's done now, it looks like nobody's been here at all. Maybe that's the point. Staring at the ceiling where the plaster's starting to flake, counting every shallow breath I'm forced to have to take. You pack the kitchen magnets and the photo from the hall, left a square of lighter paint against the faded wall. I'm sitting on the suitcase that I couldn't bear to pack, knowing that you're miles away and never looking back. The neighbors keep on asking if I've heard from you today. I just nod my head in silence and I turn the other way. I'm building up a fortress out of maybes and might be's, while I'm shaking like a leaf upon a set of broken knees. Just to make it through the day, but the words are thin as paper and the ink is running dry. And okay feels like a mountain that I'm never gonna climb. Yeah, it'll be okay, or so the strangers say, while I'm watching every piece of me just slowly wash away. Told the highest price I'll pay, just to keep on believing that it'll be okay. I walked into the grocery store and bought enough for one, then sat inside my car until the setting of the sun. I'm waiting for the moment when the panic doesn't rise, when I don't see your shadow every time I close my eyes. They say that time's a healer, that the scars will start to fade, but they don't see the wreckage of the promises we made. I'm living in the after, but I'm tethered to the before, like a sailor lost at sea who's forgotten where's the shore. Okay, such a lonely word. It's a hollow, empty sound. It's the space between the falling and the hitting of the ground. It's not happy, it's not healing, it's just staying in the fight. When you know the sun is never gonna fix what broke It'll be okay. I'll say it till I mean it. It'll be okay, even if I don't believe it. Just one more day. Just one more breath. Okay. I'm okay. I see a stranger's face in the back of a car, and for a second I forget just how far you are. I saw a house for sale with a porch and a swing, and I felt the ghost of a ring. I'm still checking the weather in your part of town, watching the rain that I can't feel come down. I'm living a life that's steady and fine, but it's built on the bones of the one that was mine. If the stars hadn't shifted, if the wind hadn't blown, I wouldn't be sitting in this garden been you. It would have been you. I met someone new, she's gentle and kind. She doesn't deserve the mess in my mind. She asks why I'm quiet when the sun starts to set, and I tell her it's just a long day or regret. But the truth is I'm mourning a person not there, the way that the light used to catch in your hair. She's a beautiful story, a page turned in gold, but you were the only one I wanted to hold. It's a haunting of hopes, and why didn't we? A shipwreck of us at the bottom of the sea. I'm not saying I'm dying, I'm getting along, but there's a missing note in the middle of my song. I can walk through the fire, I can stand in the rain, but I'll never find a way to explain the stain of the life that escaped us, the dream that fell through. If the stars hadn't shifted, if the wind hadn't blown, I wouldn't be sitting in this garden alone. In every almost, in every could be, there's a version of us that's still happy and free. When I close my eyes and the world goes blue, the answer to everything would have been you. Yeah, the life that I'm missing, the one I'd go through, it would have been you. It would have been you. It would have been the Sunday mornings. It would have been the growing old. It would have been the only story that I ever wanted told. But the lights are changing and the sky is new, and it's anyone else, but it would have been you.
Would you like to explore a specific genre for this track? I can provide tips for a country ballad or modern indie arrangement to suit these lyrics.
I still take the long way past your street at night, checking for your shadow in the porch's amber light. My friends all tell me I should burn the bridge and run, but I'm still warm from the embers of a dying sun. I know you're toxic, I know you're the storm, but when the world gets cold, you're the only place that's warm. I've got a list of reasons why I should let go, but I'm still addicted to the yes inside your no. There's a ghost of your perfume in the passenger seat, and a hole in my heart that's jagged and sweet. I keep the I hate you text saved on my phone, just to feel something while I'm sitting alone. Every time you call, I know how it ends, with a sorry we don't mean and a break that never mends. I'm a moth to your candle, a ship to your reef, finding a strange kind of home in this grief. It's a cycle of lightning and a desert of rain, a beautiful madness, a master of pain. If I'm ever cured, I think I'll be bored of a life where the fire isn't kept by a sword. I'd rather be bleeding than feeling nothing at all. So I'll keep on climbing just to watch myself fall. Oh, you're my favorite mistake, my beautiful lake, the only heartbreak that I'd willingly take. If I could go back to the start of the fall, I'd choose the ruin just to have it all. A bittersweet poison, a gorgeous regret, the best kind of loss that I haven't found yet. They say I'm a fool, and maybe it's true, but my favorite mistake was loving you. I'd do it again, yeah, I'd do it again. The mess and the mercy, the beginning and end. Leave the light on, keep the scar. I love the disaster of who you are. My favorite mistake, my favorite mistake.
How would you like to proceed? I can help you brainstorm a bridge variation or suggest visual concepts for a music video that captures this beautiful regret theme.
The tea has gone cold in a cup meant for two, and the house has a way of breathing without you. I used to fear silence, the quiet, the still, but now it's a presence that sits on the sill. The floorboards are humming a minor key moan, a chorus of rafters all feeling alone. I'm conducting the shadows that dance on the wall, waiting for echoes that never will fall. It's a solitude symphony, a sullen refrain, played on the heartstrings and washed in the rain. There's no
through the keyhole is a flute out of tune, playing for ghosts in the light of the moon. I reach for the radio to drown out the air, but the static just sounds like your voice was once there. Every tick of the clock is a beat of the drum, marking the time until I become numb. It's a brand of the say, sick of never and no. A masterpiece in since you had to go. Ever lost in the music, a pause in the breath, where I almost spoiled a life after death, after us, after them, after all that we were. But the crescendo is coming, a deafening blur. The shallow sorrow is starting to rise, and I'm closing my heart as I'm closing my eyes. It's a solitude symphony, a sullen refrain, trade on the heartstrings and washed in the rain. There's no need for lyrics, the emptiness sings of the hollow vibration that memory brings. And I'm lost in the movement, the slow, bitter grave of life that is never end, but wide open space. Listen close to the heartbeat, that low, lonely sound in solitude symphony. I'm finally drowned. Last note lingering high, like a star that is fading out of the sky. The conductor is tired, the theater is black, and you're never, no, you're never coming How would you like to proceed? We can work on a melodic structure for this song, or I can suggest Falco Galigri styles to help capture that son soundstage feel. I'm sitting at the desk where the varnish is thin, tracing the circles where your coffee cups have been. The drawer is a graveyard of things I never said, of ink that turned to iron and promises that bled. I get halfway through, I miss you, and I have to look away, because the paper can't handle the things I need to say.
The stamps are all dry and the edges are torn, like a map to a country that was never even born. They're just unfinished letters to a heart that's already gone, sentences that stumble and a tear that lingers on. I'm writing to the version of you that used to stay, before you learned the grammar of walking away. The periods are teardrops, the commas are fears, a library of longing from these hollowed out years. Yeah, my desk is a mountain of things I'll never send, just 1,000 beginnings with no way to reach the end. I tried to write I'm sorry, but the pen ran out of blue, as if the ink itself was tired of chasing after you. I described the way the light looks on the garden in the fall, but you aren't there to see it, so it doesn't matter at all. I fold them into planes and I let them hit the floor, a white paper ocean by the bottom of the door. Each one is a conversation I'm having with the air, searching for you who isn't even there. If I ever stitched one, if I wrote goodbye, the sun might finally break through this permanent gray sky. But a period feels like a shovel in the dirt, and I'm not ready to bury the only part of us that doesn't hurt. So I leave the sentence hanging, I leave the thought in flight, and I start another letter in the middle of the night. They're just unfinished letters to a heart that's already gone, sentences that stumble and a deer that lingers on. I'm writing to the version of you that used to stay, before you learn the grammar of walking away. The periods are teardrops, the commas are fears, a library of longing from these hollowed out years. Yeah, my desk is a mountain of things I'll never send, just 1,000 beginnings with no way to reach the end. Yours truly, but I'm not always. But you forgot. The cum hits the floor, the ink is a blot. I'll write even though I wrote, even though I know you won't. Would you like to explore a specific musical arrangement for these lyrics? We could discuss intonation to enhance the emotional weight. of the guest room downstairs, finding your ribbons and the ghost of your stairs. I thought if I moved there, the room would feel light, but the emptiness carries its own kind of fight. There's a dent in the pillow that won't rise again, like a permanent bruise from the way it all ended then. I'm holding your sweater, it's frayed at the sleeve, still holding the scent of the day you had to leave. And oh, it's the weight of what was, the almost, the maybes, and the just because. It's not in the lead or the stones in my hand, it's the gravity of dreams that didn't go as planned. It's a heavy, soft shadow that follows me through the crushing momentum of a life built on you. I'm trying to stand, but the sky is falling in under the weight of what was and what might have been. The photos are thin, just a slip of a page, but they feel like an anchor, they feel like a cage. I remember the morning we laughed till we cried, before all the sorries were buried inside. Now every remember is a gallon of rain, turning my footsteps to a slow, muddy pain. They say time makes you stronger, it helps you to carry, but the ghost of our wedding is a heavy thing to bury. It's the silence of the phone that weighs 10,000 pounds. It's the echoes of
can help you develop a chord progression for the song or provide musical style suggestions to match these lyrics.